Hey, what's up? This is Benny Sunshine, and I was thinking about shooting this video outside, but it was raining and cold outside last night, and a little this morning. It seems like it's that way, and I'm not trying to catch pneumonia. Anyways, yesterday I was at the bus stop and I was walking down there, and as I'm getting closer, I can hear these people before I can clearly make out what they were. There was two Latina type chicks, and I just could hear him, like, whatever, talking about dragging bitches in the club. Like, first of all, one looked like a refrigerator and the other one looked like a toothpick. So I made sure I was ahead of time that I kept my distance back, because I don't really, associate with a whole bunch of, I don't know, I don't like to be around stuff like that. But mind you, I can't be too far from the bus stop because I have to wait for the bus too. So that's how that worked out. I saw an article about Jaden Smith, and he was modeling women's clothes, and I went back and I looked for more articles that were similar, so to make sure I was seeing what was correct, and it wasn't just some type of Photoshop incident where they put his head on a female's body and tried to make a lie and say he was modeling the clothes. But no, this nigga was actually wearing women's clothes. I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but one of the articles that had his image with the female clothes on said Jaden Smith, something about him redefining black masculinity. I don't think you can redefine masculinity. I know you could say it's a matter of opinion, but you are what you are. That's all I'm saying. Like, I feel you can't have more feminine traits than masculine traits and be considered masculine, like, seriously. And, like, a lot of I'm not just talking about the clothes, but the way you act. Like, I've seen a lot of, masculine, or men who claim to be masculine, that do have effeminate qualities, and they usually suck their lips and lick their lips more than a straight girl or a regular girl or whatever. I'm not talking about the LGBT community. I'm not. Like, if that's their lifestyle, that's, them. But as far as, I'm talking about the ones that, the people who claim to be masculine but are exhibiting feminine traits. Like, you can't be both, in my opinion. Like, you either are or you aren't. Like, because if I'm out there buying dresses, I don't want you shopping at the same thing in the mall buying dresses with me. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I just can't, I want a masculine man. And I feel like the masculine men, are the backbones of any society. I feel like, they're the ones who, build the structure in the home and all that. But all this feminine stuff, especially with these Generation Z people who are beneath me. And I'm only, beneath me, I mean, younger than me, who are coming up now. It seems like they're just trying to do away with everything that's ever been created or whatever. So there's no boundary between anything. But I think you do have to draw a line between, especially when you're talking about femininity and masculinity, and as far as being heterosexual and still being feminine. I don't think you can really be too much be feminine and be considered a heterosexual male. Wearing dresses, I feel like it emasculinates them, and it's sad that a lot of our black men that are identifying as straight, but they're just we're losing our men to this emasculated image, this emasculination that's happening. I don't my kid won't wear it. That's all I'm telling you. He's not walking around in the damn dress as long as I can help it. I'm gonna love my kid regardless, whatever decision he makes in life. I'm going to be support. I'll be there for him. I can't say I'll support every decision, but I'll be there for him if I have a son. But it's just weird, how they keep trying to push the homosexuality on the people who are straight, and the genders, the people coming up, the younger ones, before they even have a clue about who they even are. I feel like they're trying to emasculinate them and get this idea that masculine men can exist, and it's perfectly fine to be straight and be like that. But if you're gay, of course, then it wouldn't surprise us if you had feminine traits. But I'm talking about the ones that they're targeting, the heterosexual men that I feel like they targeted in that article. I don't know what Jaden Smith's orientation is, but for the ones, I feel like the article is going after straight black men and trying to make them, especially the younger ones, as you can see it, even you can walk outside nowadays and see how the masculinity in them is just pretty much how they've become more masculinated. The tight pants. I'm not saying tight pants automatically warrant homosexuality, but a lot of them, you'll see them with tight pants and everything's just whatever, and a lot of them act more, it's just, they're not the same. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't understand what's going on with that. I don't feel you should play with lines and boundaries that are, as far as it comes to that, as far as like you either are or you aren't. Like there's no in between. That's how I feel it should be, because if we lose all, like, you know, if we lose like the majority of like the ones coming up, if this is the future, then it's probably going to be really, really just awkward for anyone to, like, what are you going to, if you take away all the boundaries as far as gender and femininity and masculinity go, then like what are you going to identify as? Like, I don't get the whole over liberalism thing. Like, I feel like you have to draw the line. You can't take away all boundaries just because we're going to say, oh, I don't, just because I feel like saying, oh, I'm just going to be non-gender or whatever. I'm not any gender. I'm whoever I want to be. Like, that doesn't make sense. I have a vagina for a reason because I'm a female. It doesn't make little sense, like what they're talking about. I think the line needs to be drawn, because we're going to have, what are we going to have now? Male and female bathrooms, trans, like, you know, trans in between, non-gender specific bath. It's just like the line is getting crazy. It's getting crazier and crazier as far as I'm concerned. Like, these people are just allowing just whatever, and they're just pumping it, especially into the black community. I do feel like we're targeted, and we obviously are. And they're just like trying to, you know, if you take out the men of a race, you can take down the race. So if you're going after a strong masculine men, then it's definitely not a good sign. And I'm, like I said, I will never, even if it catches with the older generation, because I noticed some older people, like my generation and up, like a lot of the older generation people are starting to catch on and like get with a lot of the trends of the new generation. And I promise you, if they start following this whole dress thing, I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna date them. Like, I don't care how masculine you think you are in your head. If you're walking around in a dress and you're trying to take me out on a date, it's not gonna happen, buddy. Because I don't associate masculinity with dress wearing. Like, be a man, be a like fucking man. If you're claiming to be straight, like, doesn't make any sense. This has been Sunshine. Stay posted.